I've got a special friend in the house today. Oscar is going to help me make wild rice salad with tofu. Don't panic. If you think you don't like tofu, you'll still want to watch this video. The recipe's super versatile and you just might be surprised. Good boy, Oscar. Treat. Let's get cooking. Good boy. Good boy, Oscar. The base of this hearty salad is wild rice, and I've got that on the stove cooking. In the meantime, I'm going to show you how to deal with your tofu. And again, don't panic if you think you don't like tofu. You can leave it out, or you could use chicken if you happen to eat chicken. But I buy locally handcrafted tofu. It's got 3 ingredients: organic soybeans, water, and nigari, which is just magnesium chloride, and it's a natural coagulant. So don't worry about it. Just don't eat too many soy products that are made from processed soy. I probably won't need quite all of this tofu. I'm gonna just cut this up into chunks. This local stuff is really, really delicious. It's a great source of protein, very low in calorie for the protein content. I use peanut oil for stir frying or pan frying because it has a high smoke point. I also like the flavor that it gives, especially if you're doing Asian foods. You might want to pat your tofu dry before you bring it to the stove. That's going to help it brown better. So let your skillet get nice and hot and then add your tofu chunks. And just kind of leave them alone until they start to sizzle. And then we're going to turn them on each side until they're brown on each side. So carefully brown the tofu chunks on all sides. Depending on where you live, you might be able to actually buy pre-fried tofu, which will eliminate a lot of your mess. And then once they're nice and brown on all sides, you'll just remove them to a paper towel to drain. While the tofu fries, and if you haven't cooked your rice, while your rice is cooking, go ahead and make up the dressing for the salad. Now, this dressing calls for curry powder, which you can absolutely buy a nice blend, but just because it's kind of fun, I'm making my own. Oh, it smells like India. The dressing is super easy, just a little bit of mayonnaise. I use a mayonnaise made with real eggs and flaxseed oil. If you're vegan, you can buy a great vegan mayonnaise. Plain yogurt. I use yogurt just so I don't have to use so much mayonnaise. Some tamari. Salt. A teaspoon of this fresh curry powder. Remember, it's okay just to buy one all ready to go. And a squirt of lemon juice. You can make this dressing ahead of time and refrigerate it. In fact, it probably would be better if you did. This recipe has a lot of little steps, but it goes together so easily, so don't be afraid to try it. I've got my wild rice all ready to go, and it's actually not really a rice, it is a grass, therefore it's naturally gluten-free. Add that golden tofu. Oh my gosh, that looks wonderful. Some chopped celery, some chopped water chestnuts for some crunch. They're such an interesting ingredient, water chestnuts. They're actually the root of a water plant that's native to Southeast Asia. Some yummy red grapes. Gosh, I don't know if my bowl's big enough. Stir it all together. Okay, as it turns out, my bowl was not big enough. So I've changed bowls. Make sure you use a bowl that's big enough to stir everything together and add your dressing. This dressing recipe is delicious. Sometimes I like to make a double batch of it and make some deviled eggs, so keep that in mind. Stir it all together, refrigerate to let the flavors combine until you're ready to serve. And once it's all stirred together and maybe you've let it chill, add some chopped toasted cashews and fresh chopped cilantro. The salad is a great main course for lunch. It'd be great with a cup of carrot soup. And it's also perfect for a picnic or to pack for lunches. Make a big bowl of it ahead of time. Let's give it a taste here. It's so pretty too. I love wild rice. It's such a different ingredient. It's a little pepper. Let's try it with our wine. Debbie helped me pick a Cabernet Franc. Oh, it's very herbaceous with the cilantro and the celery. Cabernet Franc is similar to the Cabernet Sauvignon grape, but not quite as full-bodied. It's a little softer, I think, but it still has a nice acid level to go with the curry. Yeah, it really is nice. Glory picked a pale ale to go with our wild rice salad. Technically a pale ale, but this particular one is a bit milder, so the sweet flavors are going to come through instead of the bitter ones from a typical pale ale. And one thing that I can't help but notice is, look at how beautiful these colors are. The Cabernet Franc is a nice jewel tone red, and this pale ale is just gorgeous. All right, let's get to tasting. That works really well. The spiciness in the curry goes great with the slight sweetness in this beer. Bon appetit.